CoastLife. We know we've got so many music lovers here along Delmarva's coast, and the Bottle and Cork is one of the coolest places to check out some of the coolest bands, and the Struts are one of those bands that sells out every single summer.
They are so cool.
They're so cool.
They're
so fun. And they're so down to earth. I am so excited that I had a chance to sit down and chat with the Struts, at least two of them anyway.
You had so much fun.
Best day.
Yeah.
Best day ever. So we're going to take you back a few weeks to when the Struts were in Dewey and see what they're up to in addition to the show that they played that night. So let's take a look. For all you music lovers out there, I know the iconic Bottle and Cork in Dewey Beach is one of your favorite spots. And I'm sure you've seen some of the names of some of your all-time favorite bands on the marquee, including the Struts, which is one of my favorite bands. I am talking with Luke Spiller and Adam Slack, two members of the band. And you guys are so awesome. I'm so excited to do this interview with you guys. So thank you for taking the time, first of all, to sit down and chat with me today.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
Yes, so you guys have been on your Pretty Vicious tour, the new album. First of all, what can you tell maybe Struts fans old and new about this album? What can listeners expect?
Well, I think that one of the biggest differences is probably it was co-produced with the band, which I think goes a long way and meant that we had like an awful lot of creative control in terms of the sound of the record. And we've always tried to make an album that at least sounds close to how we feel and sound live. And I think this last album really is the closest thing that we've done that sort of has that kind of energy to it, for sure. Yeah, and of course, like really great songs. So we're really proud of it.
You should be. It's a great album. I've listened to it multiple times prepping for this interview, but also just in general because I am a big fan. I mean, I remember the first time I heard Could Have Been Me on the radio, and the first time I saw you guys play that song at the Firefly Music Festival in Dover that we used to have. And I mean, it's one thing to hear the song on the radio. It was a whole nother experience to see it performed live. You guys are so much fun. How do you bring that just electric energy as individuals and as a band to your shows?
Well, we try, don't we?
Yeah, I think we do our best to keep the energy levels up on tour. Like, we're pretty early on in the tour at the moment, so tonight should be full of energy. But I think it's just something since we started the band, it was just kind of, the ethos of the band was to be a great live band, and that's all our heroes are all great live bands, so we just wanted to kind of do the same thing. But yeah, it's just high energy all the time, and yeah, sometimes as the tour goes on, you need something to help you get there, but like a couple of drinks or something. But yeah, lots of energy.
Yeah, and I mean, anybody who has seen you guys perform live, I know that at least in this area, if you hear one person like across the street whisper, the Struts, you'll be like, the Struts! I love them. We see them all the time, especially here at the Bottle and Cork, which is where we are hanging out in the green room for your sold out show tonight, which we're so excited for. But I know you guys mentioned some of the other classic rock influences that you've had, which I know people have mentioned Queen, people have mentioned the Stones, the kind of vibe that you give. But I think the Struts are really their own entire thing. But you guys do dive a little bit deeper into some of your influences with the podcast that you guys have started. What kind of window can fans see into the Struts with that podcast?
Yeah, I mean, the podcast is quite an interesting thing because it allows us to sort of talk at great length.
My favorite.
which you know, is never a bad thing. I'm always up for that. It gives us the opportunity to kind of like dive in way deeper, whether it's the origins of the group, for instance, our favorite albums, our influences, and whatnot. It's definitely something for anyone who is probably discovering the band or has, you know, followed us for a while to get into, because you can sort of really hear in great detail some really sort of well-known things that amongst the group we've, you know, kind of like second nature. So a lot of people are sort of responding already, going, wow, like I didn't know this and I didn't know that. I think the last one that we did was all about our favorite albums as individuals that shaped us. So head over to Struts Life on all streaming platforms to listen to that podcast.
There you go, a little crumb for you.
Yeah.
You guys have been, recording music for a while. You've got 4 albums out. How would you say your music has maybe grown since Everybody Wants to where we are now with Pretty Vicious?
I'd say it's definitely evolved. I think
Matured?
Yeah.
Some songs.
Some songs have. To be fair, I think you listen to the 4th record compared to our debut, and even the way I approach the vocal, for instance, I arguably, despite Everybody Wants being probably our most well-known album, I would say Pretty Vicious, the album, probably has like way more dynamic in terms of the way I use my voice, rather than the first record. It's really kind of up here and it's full energy all the time, which is great, and I think you need that when you're coming out of the gates as a brand new band. I would say now that we're sort of ready to venture into new sort of paths and directions that maybe we've sort of dipped our toes in on previous albums. So it's going to be a really exciting future musically.
Well, I know that we are so excited here along Coastal Delmarva to see you guys play tonight at the Bottle and Cork. Again, a sold-out show, but I know listeners of 93.5 The Beach can always hear your music played on our rock station, and of course people can find you across the board when it comes to streaming platforms and wherever else you're getting your struts fixed these days. So thank you guys once again for taking the time to chat with me. This is so exciting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
But we got some more CoastLife. That's also exciting. Coming your way.